All right, good morning, everyone. No, I think, hello. All right, exam prep. Happy Friday Eve. Oh my gosh, I can't believe 3 weeks just went like that. So we'll just wait just a little bit. All right, we got some graduation screens back there. Sweet. All right, I guess we should start. We have a treat for you. We're going to do exam prep, and then we're going to have an alumni panel come on in, and you could pick their brains about the state exam. They're going to pump you up. I'm going to review just the whole process and then just kind of take a look at the blueprint and give you some little tips. And then we'll have our graduation. All right, let's go.
As we start, I'm going to try to change my background, okay?
Oh, sure,
Okay.
sure. Okay, cool.
I was on mute. I said go for it, Angelina.
All right, here we go. Sorry for the late. Okay, here we go. All right, well, this works. Everybody's rolling in. All right, share my screen. All right. Exam prep and Ariano, your CAPS Academy instructor. Happy Friday Eve. Here we go. All right. How are you all feeling about taking the state exam? Right? If you were able to marinate in the experience, chances are you're gonna rock the state exam. All right, well, we're going to explore how to register and make your appointment, what to expect in person and online, techniques for studying, and some test taking strategies. Okay. So, about the state exam. To become a medical peer support specialist, you must register yourself an account. Step one, okay? It's a 2.5 hour exam with 120 multiple choice questions, right? And like I said, it's offered online or in person, and there's testing centers. Okay, and you could take it up to 3 times within a year if you don't pass, which most likely won't happen. But just so you know, for the information that to take the exam, you have three in a year. Okay, the first one is all on scholarship base for all of you. After that, if you don't pass the first one, then you pay, then the fee is on you. Okay. So and take it takes about 30 days. It could take about a month, maybe 2 weeks at the most to get a reply. Okay. So here we go. We go to capeercertification.org. Right here is everything, all you need for state exam. Okay. Bookmark this page, save it, because this is also where you're going to go into your account. Where, like, if they say someone needs to see your certificate, you would go in there in your account and print it out. They're not going to mail you anything. It'll be in your account, and it takes 7 to 8 days to process after you pass the exam, because someone was looking for it right away, and we found out together that it takes about 8 days for them to like get your certificate uploaded in the system. All right. Okay, cool. So here we go. Those of you we went through the process, you should have created an account. That's that first one. So after you register yourself an account, it's going to hit that number 1 box. That's where you hit that box. It's going to say, apply for certification. Hit that one. Number 2, it's going to show you that dashboard 1 through 8. Okay. So if you see step 1, creating your account. Step 2, watch that video, because you can't start the application until you watch that orientation video. Give yourself about 30 minutes. Okay. Any of you that use Relias at work for trainings, if you know about Relias, you have to watch that scene and then hit next for each one. Okay. So give yourself some time for that. Maybe if you paint your toenails or something, let them dry while you're watching it. But a bunch. Okay. And then you start the application process on number 4, right? And then, you just start, that's where you're going to upload your ID. And I know those of you, we talk about getting your school records in place, either high school diploma, GED certificate, any kind of unofficial transcripts, degrees, whatever it is, your last highest educational background certificate. You're going to upload that in step 4. Okay. And then, so like if you lose the dashboard or whatnot, you see on number 3, it has that dashboard. Like the dashboard, you're always going to get to your steps. Okay. And I have apply for certification. That's where you can always go back to your application. And then underneath that, it says my certificate. That's where you're always going to be able to go to find your certificate. Angelina, did you have your hand up, or was that a quick? All right. Cause you're right there in the pink right there for me. All right. Let's see. So check it out. So sometimes the site can be glitchy. Okay. Usually reach out to us. I'm always like, hey, if anything comes up, reach out to me. We'll find out what's going on. If we can't troubleshoot that, Cal Mesa is awesome. If you give them a call or email them, they'll get back to you. Okay. We had someone in the cohort so excited about taking the state exam, right? So after he applied, and I think like, let's say this week, like he's calling today to find out about his application. So he was actually able to get his exam the following weekend because he was on it. Okay. Not saying to harass Cal Mesa, but you know what I mean? And he got hired with the VA right after. So I just want to say some good shit happens. Good stuff happens. Excuse me. All right. So this is what the process, like I said, the application, what it's going to look like when you start. Make sure you hit all those requirements. You're going to need your government ID, high school diploma, GED right there. Important. It doesn't automatically save, so you have to submit it, okay? And notice that your first and last name on this application has to match on your ID, the government ID that you're going to take with you to take the exam. Okay. All right. Woo, woo, woo. So here we go. So this is after you do that whole step, like doing your application, uploading your ID, your school transcripts. It's going to ask for, okay, so it's going to ask for a code. This is what's going to happen. After today, those of you who have all your assignments turned in and do your final evaluation, George is going to email you your certificate. Please listen. Email her back and ask for the prepaid code. The reason at one point we had a limited number of codes, so it goes to those who want to take it. So we need to see that you want to take. That's so really important that you use that. If you want to take it, we'll give you your code. Okay, Carlos, go ahead. Sorry, I hope I'm not talking.
No. Renee, FYI, there's a little bit of a lag. Just wanted to let you know.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I would suggest maybe turning off your camera for a little bit, just to see if that helps, or whatever you think would work.
All right. Did you all miss anything that I need to repeat?
It just went really fast. It just went like Speedy Gonzalez.
Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, here, let me turn it off. How about this?
It
Okay.
was skipping.
It was skipping. Okay, so tell me.
It would pause, and then all of a sudden it'd like shoot forward.
Okay, so what did you all miss? Did I need to go over anything? You want me to go back on anything? Or are we good?
The whole thing again.
The whole thing?
Safe. I don't know about the codes.
Okay, I'll go back. Matthew. Yes, Matthew. No problem. I don't.
I've actually done this whole process already. Me and Helen talked about, we weren't sure about how I got so far ahead, but guys, it's super
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I heard about that. Pretty tricky.
It's super self-explanatory. It's super easy. They walk you through step by step, and you just fill out things as they ask for them. It's they're not trying to trick you guys or anything. It's like really, really simple.
Fantastic. Thank you, Matthew. All right, really quick. I know, and I get so excited that I do go through this pretty quick. So thank you. I don't mind. I didn't even have any coffee, to tell you the truth. I did my yoga. Maybe that's what it's doing to me. Right. I opened up all those chakras. Okay, here we go. So capeercertification.org. Isabel, is your hand still up, or are we? Okay, go ahead.
So I saw that it had like a little checkbox for the ID and then the like the education stuff. So if I don't have exactly access to my transcript.
Oh yeah, we have a website that you could go to request it. Okay, and it's like $6 or $11.
I don't know if that will work for me because it didn't work last time when I was trying to do it for my job. and I had to go in person to the school, but I don't know if I get the option to send it to myself to get a copy. I had to send it to
do me a favor, Isabel, talk to your student support, check with them, and we'll work it out. How about that? Okay. No problem. And if something like that happens, we do, like, you know, just meet with us and we'll work it out. Okay. I know it's a process, that whole trying to, like, someone had a school that burnt down in another state and we were able to find it. Okay. So there is hope. We'll make it happen. All right. Okay. So create yourself an account. Step 1, with the Cal Mesa on capeercertification.org. Step 2 is, that's going to show your dashboard. You got everything where I said, bookmark this, baby, because this is where you're going to find everything for your state, your certification. If they need a copy of it, this is where you'll go. Okay. Step 3, you're going to have that dashboard. So you could always go back to it, go back to your application, go to apply for peer, see that my certificate. So if everybody's like, hey, Naomi, I don't know, are you legit or what? Let's see your certification. You could go in here in this website, check it out, and it'll print out, it'll show you your certificates. They're not going to mail you something or a card, which I think they used to do. I was kidding. You didn't smile. I was just joking. Okay. Okay. And then number 4. All right. And so here's the application. I think, Isabel, you're going to need your government ID. You know, we talked about this. We're going to work on getting that. All right. The application fee. So after you upload everything, like Matt was saying, right? Specific steps, just go through it, self-explanatory. After you receive your certificate of completion for this cohort later today from Georgie, when your homework's all turned in and you got your final survey turned in, we need you to email her and ask for a prepaid code. It's $100 code that pays for that application fee. Okay. But you have to ask for it because people sit on the codes and that's money. All right. So once you're approved, once they approve your application, you're going to receive an email with instructions. Okay. All right. And then when they get back to you, they're going to say, okay, you're approved. They're going to ask for another code for that $150 for the exam fee. When that comes, that's when you email Georgie again, asking for that second prepaid code for $150. Okay. Because the total is $250, $100 for the exam, $150 for the state exam. Everybody clear? Is everybody clear on what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that if I'm not, okay, cool.
Renee, one question.
Yes.
What if you've already paid for it?
Oh, see, we talked about if you already paid for it, unfortunately, we do not reimburse.
Okay.
I do apologize.
Which is fine. Just wondering.
Yeah. Just don't pay for the exam. Did you pay? You don't.
I haven't paid for the exam.
Okay,
Just pay for the, okay.
Please don't. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Accommodations. Okay. If you feel like you need extra time, you got a little ADD like me, you need to be in a room by yourself because any little noise will distract you. You need to have an accommodations request form filled out, and it has to be by a doctor, an MD, okay, psychiatrist, medical doctor, whatever it is that you need. We also have an exam comfort aid list, and that's an aid list that stuff you can bring in with you to the testing that does not need to be signed off by a doctor. A bottle of water that needs to be in your accommodations request. Okay. So those of you that want to do the accommodations, this was really important, to start the process right away, because it does take a little more time to have to get your doctor to sign that form and then send it into Cal Mesa. So it is a little bit of a process. And those of you that want to do it, we do have that accommodation form in the resource page. You could also grab it off of that CA Peer on the website. I don't think these open. Do these links open? Okay. All right. So let's say you turn it in, you get that, you're like, hey, okay, did I get anything? Here's the receipt. No. You'll know when you're approved to take the state exam when you receive a letter like this. Okay. You will receive when it says ready to take certification exam. It's going to give you a HEM Pro ID. Okay. Now, once you get this baby, it's going to have you watch another video, right? And then it's going to prompt you to a site to go ahead and schedule your exam. And if you want to take it in person, you put in a zip code, it'll pop up all these sites that you could take near you. Okay. And there's also online, and we're going to go more through that. Am I good? Am I talking? Are we good? You can hear me? I feel like you can't see me though, huh? Hold on. I'm going to try again. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of weird. There we go. So like this is what I was saying. There's the in-person exam, what to expect. There's the locations and then online instructions. Okay. And this is all in that on that peer certification. You look on those tabs, they'll all be there. If you want me to go back and elaborate if we finish up quicker, I could go back and show them to you exactly. So here's a little video on what to expect when you're going to go to an in-person examination. I don't know if any of you taken a state exam. They shake you down, baby. They shake you down.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let me see. I don't think I have my sound on. Make sure I do this correctly. All right. Let's do this. This is there you go. This is what to expect if you're going to take it in person.
So that you can perform at your best, here's an idea of what to expect when taking an exam at a Pearson VUE Test Center. There are security and admissions procedures to complete before testing. Your confirmation email will inform you how early to arrive for your appointment. The test administrator will confirm your appointment and exam. You will be asked to read and agree to the testing rules. Then we will check your identification. Many programs require 2 forms of ID. For example, a passport, driver's license, or credit card. Requirements vary, so be sure to check with your program for specific ID requirements. Next, the test administrator will ask you to sign your name on a digital signature pad and compare it to the signature on your ID. Depending on the exam you are taking, you may be asked to scan your palm. The scanner uses a near-infrared light source similar to a TV remote to scan the veins in your palm. The information is converted to a digital template and used to prevent anyone from testing under your identity. The process is simple, accurate, and eliminates many of the privacy concerns associated with other biometrics. Next, we'll take your photo. All personal data, including your photo, are securely transmitted and stored with your test results. The next step is to store all your belongings in a locker or other secure area. Items like a watch, wallet, purse, phone, other smart devices, or any other personal effects are not allowed in the testing room. The proctor will check for personal items each time you enter the testing room. You'll be asked to pull back your hair to show there are no electronic devices present, lift your tie or hood to show that nothing is concealed, and roll up your sleeves. We'll request that you turn out your pockets, run your hands around your waistline and down your legs. Lastly, you will remove your glasses and place them on a desk for visual inspection. Once you've completed the admissions process, you'll be given an erasable noteboard and escorted to your workstation in the testing room. When your exam launches, you will be monitored by the proctor and audio or video recorded. When you reach a scheduled break, if one is included in your exam, or if you need to take an unscheduled break, simply raise your hand and the proctor will assist you. You will need to show your ID or repeat the palm vein scan each time you leave and return to the testing room. When your exam is complete, raise your hand and the proctor will escort you out of the testing room. Depending on which exam you take, you may receive your score report when you exit. Once you retrieve your personal items from the secured area, your testing experience is complete. Should you need accommodations, visit your program's page on pearsonvue.com and click on Accommodations. There you'll find the details of when and how to request a modification. All of us at Pearson VUE wish you a smooth and successful testing experience.
Okay, pretty cool. Take that. Okay, so you know how they said the erasable whiteboard? They give that to you as you walk in. Our panel, we're gonna have an alumni panel come in, but I've heard this, and I probably Carlos and Helen could testify that those 4 components that we talk about, right? Is it person-centered? Is it inclusive? Is it collaborative? And is it strengths-based? I would suggest going in there, writing those 4 things on that board right away. And so when you're taking the exam, you're answering those questions. I had a student that I talked to who's actually going to be on the panel who told me how they remembered it was the acronym PICS, PICS. I thought that was pretty cool because it took me a while. I'm always looking at my list when I tell you all, that's not pretty good. But PICS, person-centered, inclusive, collaborative, strengths-based. Just a little tip for you, okay? Now, you will be able to get a 10-minute break in between your exam. You could choose to take it or not to take it. I didn't take mine. But we did have a student that took off without raising their hand and just kind of went outside to smoke a cigarette. Unfortunately, that was considered a no pass. Okay, we don't pay for the second one for that. So don't leave without letting them know, please. Yes, Yolanda.
I'm sorry, Renee, you said the acronym?
Oh, yeah. P as in pig. I for inclusive, C for collaborative, and S for strengths.
Inclusive. C for
Collaborative.
Collaborative.
And then S for strengths-based.
And then S for strength. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
Bianca.
cool. Yeah, so when you come back on our alumni panel to share with the other students, tell me if it works, okay? All right. Am I still sharing
Thank
my
you.
screen? You're very welcome. Am I still sharing? Yes. Okay. Oh, no. Damn. All right. Rescheduling, canceling missed exams, okay? You got to reschedule online exams. You could schedule or reschedule anytime up to 1 hour before your exam, before your appointment. Okay. For in-person, you have to do it 48 hours before. Okay. Okay. So like if you're a no-show, you forfeit it. Okay. And there's the link to go ahead and reschedule or cancel. If you do not receive a confirmation email, your appointment wasn't canceled or rescheduled. So make sure you have that email that says it, okay? All right, prepping for the big day. All of you have this test prep guide bookmarked on your laptop, right? On your computer. Save this baby. This is everything, all you need for the state exam. Okay. How to get ready, make a commitment, put some time aside to study, review your work. You're going to have the access to the student portal for 6 months to a year. I think we said a year, Carlos, or Helen, or is it 6 months? A year. And we're also going to have an alumni panel. We'll talk about that later. I mean, an alumni portal. So you could always go back, and this is what I've heard also is the students that studied for it would go back, watch the recording, and go through the handout. They said that was helpful. Okay. Study with someone from class. I know a lot of cohorts had got together and got themselves a little like Zoom weekly meeting group or support group going on. Use flashcards, rewatch the recordings, and we also have exam prep webinars. There's going to be some resources for you to do that also. And pick when we have the alumni panel, and you have the opportunity to ask them questions. So write down your questions right now, what you want to ask about. All right. Before the exam, test yourself online. Make sure everything's working. I wouldn't have done it online. Like I wouldn't do it online, but they do. I know Carrie, she'll come back later, but they want a picture of your room, like every corner. You can't have a window behind you or in front of you. Like it's very specific, but you have to make sure you have good internet connection. Okay. Reliable. The day of the exam, okay, in person, go early, right? Maybe find out. I'm paranoid. I had to go drive and make sure I knew where the place was the day before. Go a little early. Make sure you have the appointment, you have your ID and all that good jazz. Let's see. Yeah, they won't let you study in there. I did bring some notes, right? Carlos, did you try to study in there? Or they won't let you study in the room. I thought you were laughing at me. I'm like, I did try to study last minute now. Right. And then yes, sorry, I was looking at it also right here. They're required to take 4 photos of your testing space. I had them backwards. Sorry. All right. Be mindful of stage fright, right? Get something to eat if you're one that needs to eat and a breakfast person. If you're not, don't do it. Maybe not have too much coffee, fruits, vegetables to help reduce stress. Confidence that you're going to do well. Stay calm, avoid putting too much pressure on yourself, focus on doing the best that you can. Relaxation techniques we talked about. We did a lot of tapping, little meditation exercises. if you don't mind, I'll share what I did. And this was if anybody heard of the Superman pose? Okay, so I went in to take my state exam, right? Actually, this was for the state boards. It was a 400 question state board exam that I had. And so what you do is you go in there, right? And I told them, because they have cameras on you, I'm like, hey, I might look strange, but I'm doing something to prepare myself for my exam, all right? So you stand there and man, put your hands on your hips and stand there like you're on top of the Empire State Building and your cape's just, and you're just feeling so badass. And you hold that pose for a minute and you're going to feel that shit. You're going to feel it. It worked for me. I'm just throwing it out there. Here's another thing. When I used to study, I like essential oils. So I would smell peppermint when I'm studying. Okay, so I brought my little essential oil before I go in there, and I smell it, and of course, boom, all that stuff comes back. Good tip, okay, before taking an exam. Anybody else, throw it in the chat if you have any tips. Also, too, what you do the night before, I don't know if you're one to cram, but like for me, I went and saw live music the night before. And I just like chilled, danced all night, got home. I wouldn't say I got home late, let's just say, but I just woosah, let it out, just be really relaxed. So do your best. Everybody's different. If you feel more comfortable cramming it in, by all means. You can also call us for some good juju. Give us a call. We'll be like, hey, you got this. You got your student support to call. You got each other. All right. Read the directions carefully. Okay. Ace it like a boss. Reread it if you have to. Okay. Read the entire question. You know how sometimes they say, be careful when like those whole myths about choosing the best answer. It's a common mistake to choose the first one. And then you're like, oh, that sounds good. But, just make sure, don't add to the question. Remember, we talked about that. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. Because we could look at that scenario and go, well, wait a minute. What if she, don't do that. Okay. And use those 4 components. And don't get stuck on word. Like I said, words are, if you feel yourself like getting stuck, you have the option to flag that one and go on to the next. So the questions that you have, you could flag it. Don't spend too much time on it. Keep going. Then when you go back, you could go through the ones you flagged and then just keep kind of, sorting it out, right? Sorting them out. All right. Here we go. Remember, is it inclusive, person-centered, collaborative, strengths-based? Nailing it, right? Remember, we're like, there's going to be 4 answers. 2 of them are going to be funky for sure. And then there's going to be 2 good ones, just the better one. How many of you say that they say if you pick C, right? It's a myth. Don't leave them unanswered at all. Like just, you're taking a chance, you have a better chance. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so I was going to say you have the time to go ahead and flag them and go back. All right. It does not have all above, none of the above, A and B. It's just A, B, C, or D. Okay, multiple choice. All right, post-exam, what are you going to do? Take care of yourself. Do some chia flips. Give us a call. Let us know you passed. Do something good for yourself, And if you didn't, relax. That's okay, too. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and that's okay, because I've had some great students come out and they're like, I didn't do it, but I'm ready to take it again. I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. Okay, it just makes you stronger and better, right? Just like I had all those notes sent back to me when I was doing documentation. I know this is off track, but it was like, man, they're totally like picking on me. What's this? But it made me a better writer. Let me tell you, it made me a stronger and better writer. So be gentle with it. Don't ghost us. I don't think you will. But if we do have your work email, do me a favor if you're willing to give us your personal, because we like to keep in contact. Like I'm still reaching out to students from my cohort from 2 years ago. I don't know if I should be, but I do. Okay. All right. Some resources for you, right? We have that exam prep workshop. Somebody was asking about that yesterday. There's a link there and Eventbrite. Check it out. There's a lot of stuff by Best Now. Flashcards, exam, anybody, a Quizlet. Someone said they use Quizlet. They went in. Okay, Kurt, was that you that said that? Okay, yeah, I guess you could pop in those questions from the test prep guide and then it just repopulates stuff so that you could pick the brain about someone on the exam prep, like the alumni said that they had with that worked for them. So, but anyway, here you go. You got these resources for you. All right, questions. I hope I didn't talk too fast. And I didn't lag. All right, and then we're gonna go over we're gonna go over some examples of the, like, what do we have time? I'll run through some quiz. Want to do some quizzes? Practice quiz? Maybe? Yeah. Matthew.
No, did I hear you right? Like if you're an accommodation is considered like a water bottle and stuff?
Oh yeah, we could go through the comfort list. Yeah, for a water bottle, you have to have that. I'll bring that up for you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
do.
does that count for the online test or just in person?
Ooh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I'm thinking online as well, but I haven't had
Online
that
as
question.
well. It's,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah,
Thank you.
Matthew, if you basically cannot take anything, and if you do the online one, your desk has to be completely clear of everything. There can't be anything around you whatsoever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see. Good question. Okay, so the comfort aid list, I'll show you. Okay, comfort. All right, here we go. All right, here's the exam comfort aid list right here. Medical devices. These do not require pre-approved. Okay, right here. Bandages, EpiPen. Okay, so if you can see that, you can have your eye drops, inhaler, pillow, pills, oxygen tank. Okay, now let's take a look on what you need for accommodations. Oh, here's the form for you for the accommodations form. Okay, it's going to look like that. Okay. And this is right here what they're looking for. Adjustable workstation, extended testing time, beverages, snacks, access to a locker. So you can see, just go through here. So this is all that you will, a liquid medication, sunglasses. You'll need all this for the accommodations from a doctor. Okay.
Renee, I see Stephanie has her hand up.
Thank you. Hi, Stephanie.
I was just gonna ask Talina, I think you probably know then if you know more about the online exam, it sounds like. So then I assume our cameras are on the whole time if they're gonna see like our desk space or whatever. So it's like basically the in-person exam except for you're in your house.
Yes.
Neato burrito.
Yeah. Again, in your house, right? Or I think
or anywhere.
Carlos
I
like
guess.
that. We won't go on that tangent of burritos.
You
Okay.
just do it in your house. Be careful not to have anybody there. If there's anybody at home or any type of distractions, they will cancel your exam.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I gotta bring you to my exam prep. Thank you so much for that. Because yeah, I wouldn't know about the online. Helen, did you have something? Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, any more questions? And then we could check out the exam prep guide, okay? All right. Oh, and then here's my last slide for you. Y'all got this. All right, let's get this. Show you the exam test prep guide. All right, and check out, like if you haven't checked it out on the student portal on the resource page, we have a lot of different stuff in there for you. Here we go. So this is what the test prep guide is going to look like. For those of you who haven't seen it yet. All right, there you go. Test prep guide. This is everything, all you need for the test. Show me. Okay, so you all know we have 17 core competencies that the state of California wants you all to be well versed and knowledgeable about, right? And so like each presentation that we've done, that you've been in, if you could see here, those are our competencies, concepts of hope, right? Group facilitation, trauma-informed care. All these presentations that you got educated on are in these 17 core competencies. Now, what we're going to do with, you know how they all kind of fit in together? If you notice, they all they all just weave in together. So with those 17, we're breaking it down to 8 categories. All right. And these are the 8 categories. Okay. And then you'll see it more. We'll talk about an examination blueprint. So these are, so what the 8 are: administrative, behavioral health, interpersonal, recovery, support, advocacy, community inclusion, resource linkage, crisis management. Now, if you think of all these competencies and where it's almost like mix and match, right? Matching to find out which competency would fit in each one. You could tell, right? Resource linkage, navigating services and referrals, right? Maybe role of consumers and family. Think about it. They all follow into each other. Okay. Now with that, definitely mark this or print this, like print it on the side. This is the blueprint. Okay. Now, when we do those quizzes at the end, you know how we have that KSA, domain 1, this is what we're talking about right here. Okay. Items per knowledge, skills, and abilities. That's the KSA. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So for that first, and that's how they're going to test, grade. That's how you know how you're going to pass is the percentage in each category. Okay. So if you look at it, category 1, administrative, 9.9% of the exam. Look at 1.1, document the peer services in a thorough and timely manner in the individual's health record. Documentation, right? How many questions on the exam? Possibly 2. You see that? We break it down. Okay, so just kind of go through this. Behavioral health, 11.6% on the state exam. Okay, and then it just read these through. Okay, interpersonal skills, 16.9. So you're going to know which one, what category that you're going to brush up on. Okay, look at 3.4, use lived experience with recovery to engage, model, and demonstrate that individuals can achieve resiliency and wellness. That could be concepts of hope, psych rehab. You see how it all falls in there? Oh yeah, right? Recovery support, 15%. Okay. Look at this, like if you say like, this is how many questions will be on that. And want to tell you that they're all different. So I didn't get any on documentation, just letting you know. When I took the state exam, I didn't get any. So there's a chance you'll get them, chance you won't. Okay. Here we go. Recovery support, 15% of the exam. That's pretty important, right? Advocacy, right? Use formal channels to advocate for the individual's rights to services. Advocacy, right? Navigating services, it all falls in. Community inclusion, 9.6. Resource linkage, 12.7. That's also navigating. You see how they fit in? Crisis management, safety in crisis, trauma-informed care. All right. So I would make a copy of this blueprint, have it on the side. Talene.
Quick question. So, all of the stuff that we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, that the response and the answer from you guys was depends on the agency. So what if we get questions like that on the test? Do I go depends on the agency or yes or no? Like,
no, you won't get a question like that. Okay. I promise you won't. You could come back and haunt me. You won't get a question like that.
Okay, so I'm not going to get a question like, can I go to the coffee shop with a,
No.
Okay, sounds good.
They're going to give you some situations, like scenarios. Think about the breakout rooms, how we gave you some scenarios to work out. Think of it like that. Okay. Besides that peer roller, not one. Just kidding. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, so 8% crisis management. So check it out. Have your blueprint printed by itself if you can. If you want to have it all together, good. But for my brain, I need to have that blueprint. So that way I could study it against the statics and then print the questions, the practice questions separately. So you could kind of go back and forth, I would suggest. So check it out. Don't get dizzy. 24, starting on page 24, we have practice exam questions. Oh yeah. So you see how I said those 8 categories? This is so good. I'm giving you all the good stuff. Administrative, 10%. So they're giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 practice questions in that administrative responsibilities piece. All right, the domain 1, 10%. Remember we said that? So, and then step C, behavioral health, it's kind of hiding there. Look at that, 11%. They'll give you the examples, practice for that category, and so forth. Interpersonal, here's your practice, okay? So with that, I say we practice. Let's take one. Is that cool? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm all geeking out. I love this stuff. All right, let's do Julia, because I like your frames. Do you want to pick, do me a favor, pick 1, 2, or 3 so we can all review it. What do you think?
1.
Okay, let's do it. Go ahead, read, baby.
Okay. A consumer expresses they want to give the peer support specialist a gift to show their appreciation for the help they have received. How would the peer support specialist respond? A, accept the consumer's present if the purchased item is less than $25. B, ask the consumer to instead consider donating to a relevant charity. C, thank the consumer for their thoughtfulness before declining the gift. Or D, tell the consumer that is unnecessary since they are just doing their job.
This is one of those.
Exactly. So what, okay, tell me what, look at it. And from what we were talking about, I bet my life on it, huh? I'm screwed now.
And then best answer.
Best answer. Which one? What do you think?
It can be B or D.
Right. Okay. So we put it in the chat. So this is what we're going to do. Woohoo. Okay. Here we go. Number 1. Don't get dizzy. We're going to go look at the key. Where is it?
C.
Number 1 was C. Who said C? You feel better, Taylene?
Yeah, so basically what I'm gauging is stay away from the depends on the agency type stuff that we've heard. So typically it's going to be no.
I mean, think of what the 5 factors in boundaries.
Yeah.
Remember what Guyton was talking about? The 5 factors. Think of that too. Okay. All right. Let's do another one. Does everyone feel comfortable with that? Okay, Carlos.
No, I just wanted to clarify, Taline, thank you for bringing that up. To make it clear that it depends is in the field, right? That's the reality as a peer support specialist. So like, just to make it clear for everyone, and thank you for bringing it up, because I just realized how many times you've said it in training, because in the real world, it does depend on the situation, on the person, on the environment. On the exam, take that out of your mouth, right? So thank you for that.
All right. Everyone, let's do another one. Stephanie, yes.
I'm going to say that it depends seems to lean more towards no. And then the depends are like, yes, depending on your agency. So like the no tends to be the common answer.
Right. Right. And remember those 4 components. When you're looking at the answers, just remember those 4 components. All right. Everybody are you okay? Do you feel comfortable with that, Taylor? Everything? Okay, cool. All right, let's do another one in admin. Let's do another one. We good on time? Yeah, we're good on time. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right, Kurt, 3 or 4? Okay, 4.
All right. A consumer thinks their diet may have a negative impact on their mental health. What can the peer support specialist do to help? A, ask the consumer about their interest in seeing a nutritionist for an assessment. B, recommend that the consumer start taking a daily multivitamin. Or C, educate the consumer on good nutrition and healthy cooking habits.
What y'all think? All right, let's go. Number 4. Okay.
I say A.
Let's see. A.
There's a lot of A's in the chat.
Right? So check it out. You see how it says KSA Dimension 1, administrative responsibilities, right? It's going to be 1.4, collaborate with multidisciplinary team, blah, 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 blah. And then it tells you the rationale behind it. Okay. So check this out. Let's go. It says 1.4. Okay. Remember that? Don't get dizzy. Let's go back to the blueprint. 1.4. Just go back and check this out, right? I would just read these and keep, going back and forth. All right, let's do one in behavioral. All right, Desiree, I see you. Let's pick one in Desiree. Let's pick one of these.
Number 7.
Okay, go ahead. Do you mind reading? Go for it.
Yeah. A peer who has been to multiple substance use treatment facilities asked their peer support specialist if a specific program worked for them. What is an appropriate response for the peer support specialist to give? A, tell the peer about narcotics. Anonymous, that is the only way to stay sober in their wellness journey. B, share what worked for the peer support specialist while mentioning there are multiple pathways to recovery. Or C, ask what their substance of choice is so the peer support specialist can decide what facility would be best. B.
Renee, you're muted.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So perfect, right? Dimension B. KSA, right? The key answer is B, Dimension 2, Behavioral Health Foundations, right? And if you go back to that blueprint and you see 2.2, can you see where we're matching it up? Is that making sense? Feel better about it? Does this make you feel a little better? Yes, I hope so. Okay, cool. Okay, let's do one. That was behavioral health. Let's see how much time we have. Let's do 11. I'm going to pick one. All right. A peer support specialist works at an inpatient psychiatric unit. What is the purpose of a peer support specialist what is the purpose of them self-disclosing their lived experience to a consumer in the setting? A, normalize their symptoms. B, encourage their compliance. Or C, inspire hope and possibility. That's a no. All right. C, right? All right. That was too easy. All right, let's do 9. A consumer's been spending the last few weeks joking around and not taking groups seriously. How would the peer support specialist support the consumer? A, tell the consumer this is not a laughing matter. B, request to be reassigned to a different consumer. C, encourage the consumer to look into a profession as a comedian. 3, D, continue to stay focused on the consumer's recovery goals. Okay, that's interpersonal skill, 17%. So that's number 9. Let's check it out. D, interperson skills. How you got it right? Woohoo! Oh, I see the smiles. All right. I get excited. About this. Okay. Let's see. So we did that one. Let's do okay, that was advocacy. Here we go. Okay, I think we did some of these. Let's see. All right, 19. Somebody read 19 for us.
A consumer wants to share their recovery journey, but recognizes their self-stigma is holding them back. How would the peer support specialist support the consumer? A, redirect the conversation to a topic that is more comfortable for the consumer. B, share openly about their own lived experience with the consumer permission. Or C, encourage the consumer to share their lived experience despite their concerns.
19.
B.
B. We all good?
B.
Okay. All right. And this is exactly how they're going to be written, the exam, the questions in the exam. This is don't study exactly off of this, but this is how they're going to be asked. Okay. Let's do one more and then we'll take a break and then we'll have our alumni panel come on and you can pick their brains. All right. Matthew, let's pick one. Do me a favor. resource linkage or community inclusion. Pick 21 through 27. What do you think? You're on mute, my friend.
25.
Ooh, all right. Perfect. Right here. Go for it.
Let me see if I can read it.
Oh, if not, I could do it.
What action is a primary duty of peer support specialist assisting a consumer in the community? A, receiving a consumer's finance to help them pay for insurance. B, advising the consumer of a dispute regarding Medi-Cal. C, helping consumer access a local mental health plan. D, discussing with a provider specific coding to ensure coverage.
All right, drum roll. That's number 25. Resource linkage. Let's go look. There we go. C. Who said C? Ah, I saw Javier already calling that baby way ahead. I saw that. It was like, oh. All right, resource linkage 7.1. So go back and look at that blueprint 7.1. So I hope this is helpful for you all. Like, I love doing this stuff. So if you ever have any questions, please reach out to us. Like flag this baby. Like I said, it's also in your resource page and on the student portal. Go to that CA Peer website. Like I said, that's where you're going to do your start your application for the exam registration. This is going to be on there. So meet with your supporters so we could get that done. And yeah, evaluation for this class. I think it's your last one. And then we're going to have a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 10:01 and then we'll have our alumni exam prep. Thank you, everyone.
So I'd like to introduce our panel. Keith, are you here yet? Okay. I see Scarlett. Grant. You here? Grant, I thought I saw you.
Yeah, Grant's here.
Okay, Jesse, Enrique, and Charla. So I'd like to ask each panelist to introduce themselves just by sharing their name, pronouns, how we know them, and how they took the exam in person or online. Okay, Scarlett, why don't you start?
Hi, I'm Scarlett. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I was in the February PM CAPS cohort, and I took the exam in person.
Great, thank you. How about Grant?
Hello, everybody. My name's Grant. I was in the PM August cohort of last year, so it's almost been a year. Pronouns are he, him. And anything else?
How did you take the exam?
Oh, sorry. I did it online at home.
All right, great, thank you. How about Keith?
Sorry, Helen, Keith's not here. He's not going to make it.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Sorry about that. Jesse, I know because I saw him come in.
Yes, my name is Jesse. I go by he, him. I took the exam in person and I was from the January AM cohort.
Great, thank you. Enrique.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Enrique. My pronouns are he, him. I was part of the May 2025, so just 2 months ago, cohort at PM, and then I took the exam in person.
Great, thank you. And Charla. Is she here? Okay.
Yes, she's taking herself.
Okay.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Okay. Hi, I'm Charlotte Soika, and I took the June, just a few weeks ago, June cohort, and took this exam in person.
All right, great. Well, thank you, every one of you, for giving up your time and sharing your wisdom and hopefully tips and tricks. So I have a list of questions to ask our panelists, but feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions about the state exam process. And I'd like to put that toward the end because the questions are fairly targeted. but there will be time for a question and answer, okay? All right, let's start with Grant. What motivated you to complete the CalMesa exam registration process, take the exam, and get certified? So what was your motivation?
My motivation, honestly, was time. So I made sure that I did it as soon as possible so I could retain a lot of the information. So I didn't wait.
Okay, great. Thank you. How about Scarlett? Same question. What motivated you?
I also took the exam as soon as I could. I was really excited to apply the knowledge from the class and also was worried about retaining it for a super long time. I took it in person and it actually, as soon as possible, ended up being about a month and a half after I took the class because they didn't have available appointments. So I'd really recommend looking into the scheduling early because depending on where you are, there might be a limited number of appointments available and it can vary how far out they have available appointments.
Okay, thank you. Jesse, same question. What motivated you?
The two things that motivated me were both times in order to retain, like Grant said, but also my son and my wife. So the sooner I got the test and exam done, the sooner I get my certification, the sooner I can start looking for work.
Great. Okay, thank you. Okay, new question for Charla. Did the training you received through CAPS prepare you to take the exam? Or was it more based upon your professional and personal experience?
Absolutely. The training I took through CAPS very much helped me on the exam. I think if you follow the course as it is, that you do really well on the exam.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Grant, same question. Did the training you received prepare you to take the exam, or was it more based on your professional or personal experience?
I think 90% of it was CAPS Academy. They did a really good job with the basics and things like that. So I would give it up to CAPS.
Okay, great. Thank you. We're going to hear from one last person on the same subject. Scarlett, what about the training? Did the training prepare you to take the exam, or was it more based on your personal and professional experience?
I think the training really helped me relate my personal and professional experience to the sort of language and terms and standards used by the exam. So I think it was a combination, but the training is more than enough to get you through the exam because the language and the concepts that you learn in each unit is and all the practice questions that you do in the class and all that stuff is literally exactly what the exam is like.
Great. Thank you. Jesse, how did you deal with the stress of preparing for and taking the exam?
The stress and the can you repeat that? Sorry. The stress and the what?
Sure. The stress of preparing for and taking the exam.
Preparing for and taking. Well, preparing for it, I wish I did more, but I did, my cohort decided to create my brain's not working, sorry. We decided to create a separate, after the course was done, to create a separate Zoom thing to do study groups. And so that definitely helped. But when it came to the actual exam date, that is where the anxiety kicked in for me, specifically because especially if you go in person, when you go there into the building and once you check in, there's no studying, there's no looking at notes. You can't even have your phone on your person because they consider it cheating and you'll automatically be disqualified if you even have that. So that's where anxiety comes in. But if you've taken this cohort, whether you took it when I did or when you took it now, it prepares you. Everything you learn here, everything will click once you start taking the test. The answers will start coming to you. It is definitely the language. I forget who said that, but it's definitely the language that is used in the cohort that definitely gets you through these questions.
All right, great. Thank you. Enrique, same question. How did you deal with the stress of preparing for and taking the exam?
So, I definitely really focused on self-care. I was about 3 weeks before I took the exam, I was sleeping really early, waking up really early, and then doing my self-care throughout the day of reading and journaling and walking my dog and then going to the gym and stuff. So I was literally like disciplining myself to get in a good mindset before the test. And then just going over the notes that we went in class, and then the four questions: the is it strength based? Is it inclusive? Is it collaborative? Is it person centered? And then I would use that to funnel through all of the material that was in the class. And then when it came time to do the actual test, I did it in the morning. So I drove the drive there was no traffic because I went a different route than Pasadena because I went to San Dimas. And and on the way there, I covered the whole thing in prayer. I covered the whole thing and just being like, I prepared for this. I took the class. I know what I'm doing. And then once I was in the building, I was like, okay, like I'm here. I can do this. Like I was prepared and really giving myself the confidence. And then once the exam came, it was more like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I remember this from class. Oh, yeah, I remember this from the notes. I remember this from this presentation. And then also too, they gave us like a notepad where you can write notes. So right when we started the test, I wrote, is it person centered? The eight dimensions of wellness and like those cycles of change. Like I immediately did that. So it was more so just like preparing for it, and then just being confident in that.
Great, thank you so much. Charla, did you have any technical issues throughout the process or any issues at the in-person site? So did you have any like technical issues or issues at the site?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. Yes, I did have technical issues throughout the training, which made it worrisome as far as whether I was going to do well on the test. But CAPS prepared us so well that I got over those technical difficulties. During the exam, I did not have any technical difficulties. It was all pretty smooth and straightforward.
Okay, great. Thank you. So you took it virtually, right? That's what you're saying.
I took it in person.
Oh, okay, great, great. Okay, Grant, did you have any technical issues? And I forgot to note if you took it in person or online. Sorry.
No, it's fine, Ellen. I took it online, so I actually did it
Perfect.
in this office room here at home. I didn't have any tech issues. When you do go through the person's view or Parsons view, and you do set up for online, they ensure that you test your system to make sure that it works. And then what I did was I probably tested my system a little bit too much that day just to make sure it was working. So.
Okay, great, great. Just because I'm sort of a tech phobe, I'm going to ask this again. Scarlett, you took it in person. So who else took it virtually on the panel? Did any of you? Okay. Okay, great. Thanks. Just looking for other
Hey, Helen, really quick. Keith showed up. Keith Jackson showed up.
Hi, Keith.
Keith is in the house.
So we're going to baptize you by fire here and ask you if you took the exam in person or virtually, and either way, did you have any technical difficulties?
Right here. Might be
Okay.
technical difficulties.
Speaking
Maybe
of,
he's
yeah,
trying to-
I don't see.
Yeah, Michael. Okay.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is we can come back and ask him the next question. Okay, where were we? We were on Grant. Okay. Scarlett, do you remember which questions were most challenging for you and the least challenging to answer? So like easiest and hardest, I guess, is a
So the questions definitely, to me at least, had different levels of difficulty. Like there were some where I was kind of right away, I was like, oh, this is the answer. It's very obvious to me. And then there were a lot like a very typical multiple choice thing where you can eliminate two, but then there's two that are both kind of right, but one is more right. And so I think this is true on the online one too, but in the in-person, you could flag questions and come back to them when you finish the section. So what I did is like I flagged everything that didn't seem very obvious to me. So there were very few questions that I was like, oh, I know I got this right. I can move on. And I came back and reviewed them all at the end of the section, and I would remember the two answers that seemed the most right. And then in deciding between those two answers, I would ask myself the four questions, which I had also written down as soon as I got in. Um, and there was generally one that was like right for three out of the four, but like maybe it wasn't collaborative or maybe it wasn't inclusive. And then like the other answer actually hits all of those 4 points. So I'd really recommend like anything that you're not sure about, just take your time to come back to and then think about the questions and also think about what unit it relates to and go over the units from the class because the test is divided into those sections. So sometimes something will be more right for one unit than a different one, if that makes sense. And so you can kind of think about what concept it's relating to and then answer the question based on that.
Great, thank you. Thanks a lot. Jesse, same question. Which questions were most challenging and least challenging, and please explain.
I would say the questions that were more challenging were the more office-based questions, like taking your notes and stuff like that, the non-peer related things, which we did go over in caps, but I probably didn't pay as much attention, to be honest. Not that Carlos was boring. Um, just kidding. But yeah, it was mostly the office-based question, like how to take your notes, how to word. Like I remembered not to word it to where you could potentially incriminate someone. Like that's the main thing that stuck. But like things like that were more difficult for me rather than the peer related. And the things that I kept asking were those four questions. And one of the main things that really stuck out to me was whenever it was a medication-based question or a psychiatric based question, the thing that stood out to me the most from CAPS was we're not a psychiatrist, we're not a therapist. So these are things that we can't just say, oh, this is what you should do. We need to help them self advocate to be able to talk to their own provider. And that's really what stood out. And the fact that, what Scarlett said with you can flag your questions and go back to it, you can definitely do that. Um, and if you feel like you need to take a little bit more time on that question, definitely either take more time on that question or like Scarlett said, flag that question and go back to it at the end of the section. And yeah, and I think you get like 2.5 to 3 hours to do the entire test, so don't rush. Don't rush. Take that time that you need. If you need that time, take the time.
Okay, great, great. Thank you so much. Enrique, I'm going to ask you the same question. Which questions were most challenging and which were the least, or why and why?
So after the test is done, they give you a breakdown of what sections of the blueprint you did better in than others, and it shows like a percentage, like oh, in advocacy you did 80%, you did this and that. And what I saw was I wasn't so knowledgeable about crisis management, and now that I think about it, when I was taking the class, I remember there was this a section where we talked about crisis management, but I guess I didn't really focus on it in the prep for the test because I was like, oh well, yeah, I know. Obviously, like when you're in crisis, like you do the certain things. But when it came to the test itself, I was like, oh, that's right. I don't know if I should what boundary and like overthinking it when I was taking the test. So that was a section that I wasn't so knowledgeable in. A section I was knowledgeable in was interpersonal skills. Because I know just me personally, I love talking to people and figuring out like their interests and stuff. So I that was more up my alley. But in general, the blueprint that because I was in contact with Carlos, like the blueprint on the exam of like how much of each of the section of the test is, like that questionnaire in the study guide really helped in general. So I'd recommend like going into it the test with looking through that and then applying that to the notes and stuff that we took in class.
Great, great. Thank you so much. Okay, Charla, what advice do you have for the students of the current cohort? And where are you?
I agree with the others that there were some questions that were real challenging, and some of them were worded different. They were the same answer, but they were worded different. And what really helped me the most was remembering person person centered. That if I got to a question that I didn't know the answer, I stopped and I said, what, how does the person centered theory work with this question? And as long as I remember person centered throughout the exam, then that's what I would do, is remember person centered.
Great, thank you, thanks. Okay, Keith, what advice do you have for the students of this cohort?
I'm sorry, who was that for Keith?
Yeah, I don't think he's
Yes.
there.
Yeah, they're not
He had
here.
technical
They're no
issues.
longer.
Yeah.
Oh, did not see that. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Grant, you're up.
Okay.
What advice do you have for the students of the cohort?
For the exam, just go ahead and take your time. There's plenty, even though it seems like a lot of questions, that you definitely have enough time. Like Scarlett was saying, you can, on the online exam, you can flag and go back. I recommend that too if you're kind of stuck, because later on, some of the questions later on might answer that question prior that you had trouble with. And then I believe it was Desiree in the chat, she mentioned stay in your scope. Ensure that you stay in your scope.
Great, great. Okay, thank you. So Scarlett, what advice do you have for this cohort?
I would rewatch the video if you're taking it in person, like about going to the testing center, because I was really anxious about not being able to follow the proper procedures or like doing something wrong and then not being eligible for my test date. And it helped with my anxiety a lot to watch like the Pearson View video the night before. And then also, can't stress this enough, writing down those 4 questions, like, and just knowing them by heart and dealing with that, like, first thing as soon as you get that whiteboard that they give you in the exam. Because that really helped a lot, just because also with anxiety, I was really worried about just completely blanking and forgetting about what, like, the main things that we had learned about were. And I knew that as soon as I had those written down, it made me feel so much better, because I knew that I could just go back to those questions and think through it and take my time with the test, and I would be able to answer the questions.
Great, thank you, thank you. Okay, Jesse, same question
I would
about any advice? Yeah,
I
sorry.
would say when it comes to those who want to take the exam right away and don't want to take the time to study, just believe in yourself, believe in the cohort. You know, they've given you all the answers that they can give you. It's up to you. But for those who want to take the time to study and take the time to really double check, make sure you got everything. You were a team while you were taking this cohort. You were a team, whether it was with Carlos or not. You were all a team. Bring that team outside of the cohort and create a study group. That definitely helped my cohort. So create a study group. You're still a team whether you're here or not. Be that team to help each other achieve the exam.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to put a plug in for, and we will send it to you after graduation too, but CAPS has an alumni networking portal. So it's very similar. It's through a portal, but it's kind of like Facebook, not related to Facebook, but in that format where you can post, you can share things, you could set up a group. Also in the portal, you all have each other's phone emails, so easy to get in touch. And great advice. Okay, Enrique, was there anything that surprised you about taking the exam?
Hmm. Um. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised at how much how many questions there were because I was so used to studying with just the 40 and then the other practice exams. I was surprised that how simple a great majority of the questions were because I thought it was gonna be more like like more complicated and I had to do some thinking, but no, I mean it was pretty simple. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. It was simple because it was like, okay, this is the situation. How would you address it? And so it was more so like, okay, I need to apply what I learned and think, okay, yeah, it's probably gonna be this. And so it was less about like being hard questions, but more so about like I didn't need to overthink it. It was just like it's either this or that kind of questions.
Okay, great. Thank you. Charla, is there anything that surprised you about the exam? Oh, and you're on mute. Just oh, oh, here we go. Great.
Okay. I too was surprised by the questions that they were, if a consumer did this, what would the peer specialist do? I was surprised that they were mostly centered that way. And I forgot what. Anyway, that did surprise me. Oh, I was told the advice I was given was to think outside the box on these questions, and I did that. But it was it it surprised me the way the questions were worded.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Okay, Grant, how many peers do you know who have passed the exam?
Actually, I know one. I got her in a CAPS Academy. She's my next door neighbor. So she's the only one that I actually know, other than the people that I'm working with. 3 of them are actually in this cohort. So I want to wish them a lot of luck. But yeah, that actually passed it that I know personally. One person, it's my neighbor.
Great, great. And you, so that's
And you.
2. We want to give credit where credit's due.
Right.
Okay, Scarlett, how many peers do you know who have passed the exam?
I don't know anyone from my personal life, but everyone I've talked to who I knew from the cohort was able to pass the test, and it was really great, like, because like I said, it took a bit of time for me to get my appointment in person, and it was very encouraging while I was waiting for that appointment to come up to get the update emails of like, oh, this person from your class just passed, this person from your class just passed. So I would definitely say update your advisors after you take the test because it'll give encouragement to the rest of the people in your cohort that haven't taken the test yet.
Great, thank you. And you can make your instructors happy by posting it in the alumni portal, and then we'll see too. Share it with everyone. Okay, Jesse, what did you do after the exam to practice self-care or celebrate your journey?
Well, at least when I went into take, I don't know if all the in-persons do this, but once I passed my exam, it actually said right on the screen that I passed, and I got really excited. And it's funny because you're not allowed to make any real like loud noises, and I wanted to go yes, but I couldn't. So, I waited till I got in the car and I once I was in the car, I just called all my support systems, my wife, my mom, my grandmother, and I called them and said, you know, we did it, not I did it, we did it,
Oh.
because my support system was my strongest was like the thing that carried me through.
Wonderful, great, thank you. Enrique, okay, what did you do after the exam to practice self-care or celebrate?
Oh man, it was amazing. In the same vein as Jesse, I remember throughout the whole process I was praying, obviously, and then like I put click and it said pass, and I was like, oh, thank God. And then when I got out, the first person I FaceTime was my mom, and I was like, hey, we did it, thank God. And then the same thing too, like throughout the week I was just texting my support group, my support system, my friends, people at church, people in the mental health in NAMI and Mental Health America of LA that were helping me throughout the process. Obviously, Caps and Georgie and Carlos, and really just thanking them for helping me out with it. Because I honestly couldn't have done it without them. And yeah, and basically just thanking everybody who was helping me throughout the process. And I remember that night, because I had been going, like I told you earlier, I was going to sleep early. That night, I just knocked out. And I woke up whenever the next day, and I was like, all right. And then I was like, all right, it's time to find a job.
Oh yeah, yeah. Reality hits. Okay, Charlotte, what did you do to celebrate and do your self-care?
Well, I work with
Oops. Okay.
yeah.
Could you start over? Because there was a little
yeah. You're not
Okay. Can you hear
there
me?
we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
I actually have two coworkers that I work with that had taken this CAPS training and the exam. So them and my boss and my husband were my biggest supporters. So I contacted all of them right away, and then my husband took me out to dinner.
Oh, wonderful.
I like to eat.
Oh, me too. Great. Okay. So now we're going to have some final thoughts, and we have a little extra time for each panelist to share any final thoughts that you would like to share with the cohort. Okay. And we'll start with Grant.
I had a whole bunch of thoughts in my head.
Good. And we've got plenty of time. So,
Yeah, so
help yourself.
Just take your time on the exam. Honestly, I kind of rushed through it, and I was very fearful that I wouldn't pass. However, I did. Obviously, just go ahead and take your time. And then I just wanted to put this out there. Once you go ahead and get your peer support certification, there's also specializations that you can get. As of right now, Cal Mesa is giving out vouchers, and I actually enrolled in a crisis care specialization, but they offer family, caregiver, injustice, unhoused, things like that. So just take your time during the exam.
Great, thank you. Okay, Scarlett, final thoughts you'd like to share.
Something that really helped me with preparing for the exam and also while I was taking it was just like remembering my reasons for doing this, for wanting to learn these things, for wanting to get into this field. And then also just remembering that I took this class and I am prepared. If you went through CAPS Academy, you will be ready to take the test. They do a very good job of preparing you for it. So just be confident in yourself, remember why you're doing it, and write down those 4 questions right before you get in and you'll be fine.
Got it. Thank you so much. I think we've said this before, but the rate of passing the exam for CAP students who take it is 98%. I think it's like 98.4 or something. But anyways, so just want to have you use that to help kind of calm yourself as you go in, that you really are prepared. Okay, Jesse, final thoughts, and we've got plenty of time, so.
I would say, like as my other alumni have said, take your time. But the thing that I would say would definitely help you as well is taking those deep breaths. Deep breaths help you center yourself, keep yourself in the moment, so you don't because distracting thoughts can come in at any moment. Keep yourself centered, breathe. Definitely take that time to keep yourself in the moment, and then yeah, take your time. Don't rush through it. Like granted, I rushed through it and I was worried that I wasn't gonna pass, but I got lucky. I remembered everything that I needed to. But definitely take your time and breathe.
Great, great. Thank you. Yes, I'm a big believer in breathing too. Enrique, final thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, definitely. I think what you should take away is, as it's been said before, is that prepare for it, and then also like relax yourself, because most of the material that was in the class is, oh, I want to say all all the material in the class is very helpful to prepare you for this exam. If you took the class, if you were serious in the note taking, serious in the homework, serious in the discussions, it's most likely that you're gonna pass, because like I said earlier, a lot of the questions are simple. It's just a matter of not overthinking it. Also going into the test prepared with your self-care, that'll literally stabilize your body so that you're mentally prepared to take the exam. And then just knowing that that your reason for doing it, just knowing that peer support, speaking of being a peer support specialist, is a rewarding career, and knowing that you're going to make an impact in people's lives is a great motivation to keep you going whenever the studying gets hard. For me, it took me a while to get to the test, because I lagged to apply for it, but I still was able to pass it. But I think that what you should learn from me is that you should take your time with it, and prepare for it in your own way, because everybody is different. Some people can do it right after class. Some people have take some couple weeks, but whatever it is, just make sure that you're preparing yourself, not just with the test, but with like your own self-care. And I think you'll pass.
Great, thank you. Keith, I hear you're in the house. Um, are you here?
I am here.
Yeah,
Great.
you made
There you
it.
are. Wonderful. So I'm gonna
How's everybody doing?
Good, thanks for
Good.
myself. So listen, I'm gonna back up a little and ask you a question. Do you remember which question was most challenging and which was least to answer?
Do I remember which was most challenging? I think for me, first of all, let me say that the test is, I went in with the idea that it was about navigating through lived experience successfully. Those questions were the most challenging because everybody's experience is different. And the way that I got to this point in my life is going to be very different from the way that other people get to the same point in time in their life. So those were the challenging questions because I felt like, well, I feel like I'm a weirdo, first of all. So the questions that when I answer them, I don't know if that's the right answer or if that's the consensus answer or if everybody feels that way. So I found those most challenging. The ones that I found the easiest were the basic, there weren't, I don't want to say, well, vocabulary, because they asked specific questions about specific things. And for me, those were most easy because the CAPS Academy prepared me with the knowledge to think from an administrative level also. So in order to think from an administrative level, you have to have vocabulary, ethics, morals, and things like that down. And those questions have very single answers. So those were the easiest for me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks. I'm going to go on to Charla now to please share any final thoughts that you'd like to, any wisdom you'd like to impart on this cohort.
The biggest thing that I would encourage is that you have a good support team. The support around you when you're taking the exam is incredible when you have it. And again, like everyone else says, take your time. I kind of rushed through it. I did it in an hour, but I wouldn't recommend doing it that fast. I would recommend flagging your questions if you're unsure, and going back and taking the time to check them. But a good support team and staying person centered is my 2 cents.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so Keith, we're gonna come back to you for any final thoughts that you would share with the cohort, and then we'll open it up to Q&A, questions and answers. Oh, you're on mute, or I don't know if you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is this final thoughts in general?
Yeah, I'll actually read it and not do it. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with the cohort? So it can be about anything, just something you think would be helpful.
I would say that I think that this peer support specialist, the way that it's structured and been created in California, is excellent. It's not perfect, but it's excellent because there are so many people in need. I know I recognize the needs that I had when I came out, and I had people there to work with me. I can say this because my sister is a peer support specialist in New Jersey, and the differences are great. All I can say is rely on your lived experience. When people are looking at you and they see success, once they see that success, then use your tools to guide them, because they believe once they look at you, they have something to tell them that they can be successful too. Something to believe in.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So now we are going to open it up to questions and answers. And I did my usual trick of kind of forgetting about the break. So we will just move on. And Kurt, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I was ready. I was quick with a question here.
Okay.
So first off, thank you guys for devoting your time helping us out today. I appreciate it. Congratulations. This is a rapidly growing field and there's lots of employment available. But for those of you who can answer this, would it be wise to volunteer or intern for a while before you jump right into employment?
I would say, oh, I'm sorry. Can I answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say get in. If you feel comfortable, get in right away. And the reason I say that is because the field is growing and you can grow with it. And I think that, and you can have some input on the direction that things take, whether it be at a local level or even at a state or even at the Medi-Cal level. So I would say get in and experience the field growing while you're growing.
So they won't expect you to know everything. They'll help you with their training process.
If I've seen job listings that when they say peer support or peer specialist, they narrow it down to a certain area. I've seen them where it just says peer support specialist. My guess is, and this is just based on my personal experience, my guess is when someone brings you in, they're going to direct you and train you in what their needs are.
Okay.
Remember that a peer, I can walk in with any experience, and somewhere along the line, I have a peer who has that same experience, or who might be experiencing that same dilemma that I had to go through. So there's no, it's not like an engineer, it's not like doing math. It's here's my lived experience. Let me attach myself to someone who I can help, who's experiencing that same lived experience.
Speaking like a true peer. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks,
I would
Keith.
like to quickly piggyback off of that, just because I live in a more rural area. I would say definitely if you have the job opportunities available, definitely do what Keith said and jump right into it as best you can. But in a more rural area, like I live in Ridgecrest, California, where there's really not that much available. I would say because I'm struggling to find an actual position. If there was a volunteer position that comes available, I'm gonna take it. It gives me some sort of experience to hopefully get myself into something more.
Great.
Thanks, Jesse. Thank you.
Jesse, thank you. So I see Matt and Angelina. So Matt, we'll go.
I just had one quick question about the actual test. So it's in sections, like the questions aren't just all random and thrown about.
So they give you all of the questions. They don't tell you what section it is. It's scored based on the sections, but not organized based on the section. So
Okay, that's what I was asking. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Angelina.
Yeah, for those of you who are empathic, and I know, or empaths, I have a feeling most of you are, and is how what do you do and are working in this field or at some capacity, how do you, when you get home, what do you do to disconnect, kind of put it in a higher power's hand? I didn't know exactly how to put the question out there, but it's just important to me, to
Breathing,
see.
for sure. I know this for a fact. I'm a huge empath. That could be anything from doing this kind of work to just watching a movie or a TV show. I get very connected with things, and definitely taking those deep breaths, and something that I've found useful, journaling. Journaling helps bring it out. And if you want, especially when it comes to this job, to keep people's names and stuff like not out there in the open, just put had a client or had a a peer today that I really connected with, and just journal it or breathe or do both. Honestly, it really definitely helps with disconnecting from something else and reconnecting with yourself.
Thank you so much. Enrique, I see you have your hand up, and then in just a few minutes, we're going to take our break. But please, Enrique, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to the advice for self-care. Yeah, journaling is really good because that's a good way to just let it all out and have no one else read it. It's just like you and the page. Another thing too is being active in your support system. Like, cause me, like I have like I mentioned earlier, I'm with NAMI, I'm with Mental Health America. I go to church, I have my family, and so like just debriefing with them and just like relaxing with them and spending quality time with people and not being so isolated like that. That's another thing too that just naturally helps me out. And then also too, there's like music I listen to that's really like contemplative and like really helps with that. But yeah, just wanted to add to that.
Great, thank you. Matt, if you can keep it pretty short, please go ahead. Thanks.
Actually, I was just going to talk about what Angelina was asking about, because I do some volunteer work right now. You hear some horrible things, unfortunately. It takes practice to be able to, once you walk out the door, to leave it behind in the office. Because the first couple times I heard some very bad stories, it's just like I'd go home and constantly think, how could I help him? What can I do for him? What can I do for him? And over time, you just kind of go, we'll figure it out next time I see him.
Thank you. Thank you. So Yolanda, it's time to take the break. Could you please put your comment in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And because we want everyone fresh and happy for graduation ceremony. So we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Right.